out for the start of this second half, and just before we get underway, just a word of condolence to Muriel Fletcher, the widow now of the great Raymond Fletcher, a wonderful journalist who has sadly passed away today. From 1991 to 2011, the Rugby League's official statistician. He co-edited the Rothmans yearbook for years and years and years. He wrote for the Yorkshire Post and was inducted into the Rugby League's Roll of Honour. Our condolences to the Fletcher family, Raymond Fletcher, who has passed away today. Sad news. And Raymond would love to have been here on a night like this, when Huddersfield and Wigan are vying to take a massive step on the road to Old Trafford and the grand final.
A lot depends, Eddie, on two prop forwards as far as I'm concerned. You mentioned the fact that Earl Crabtree, that's a great kick. Earl Crabtree, I wonder if there's a problem down there. Maybe we could find out, Rod Studd, but he'll certainly be a key factor as the game goes on. And also, problem for Sean Wayne, you mentioned also, is the fact that, you know, will he leave Andy Powell on the bench all the way through, or will he risk him? You know, he has not got a lot of experience in our game.
Well, we can hear from Rod Studd with his half-time news, I think, because Huddersfield with this possession, but deep in the half.
I mean, there is a problem or two for both coaches, we know, and that really is the weather out there. It's still pouring down with rain out there. Both coaches know there's going to be errors made. The question is where they're going to come and when they're going to come, and they need their teams to minimise the problem and get the kicking game absolutely right. As regards to the injury problems that Steve-O was alluding to there, Andy Powell, not a lot wrong with him. He did get a ban about 10 minutes in, we remember there. Hopefully they will be able to use him again if necessary. And Earl Crabtree just taking a breather, a planned breather at the moment, and no problems, says Big Earl as he came out of the changing room. It should be an interesting second half.
It should. This is certainly no nights for sombreros, that is for sure. 2 minutes of this second half have gone. It's 8 apiece. Of course, it would keep your shoulders dry, I suppose, and it certainly is raining cats and dogs here tonight.
Depends how big the sombrero is.
I think the Warriors supporters who've travelled here will probably agree with me that this is Wigan's best performance, I think, since they beat Leeds at the Etihad Stadium, which was the end of May. For 40 minutes, they really have sharpened up their attack, and the precision of the passing and the timing of the players seem to be back to its best that they showed in the first half of the season.
To the opposition, into the defence, and try to avoid
carrying the ball.
Well, remember, in the regular season, Huddersfield beat Wigan twice, 20-10 here in round 3, 30 points to 12 at Wigan last month. A decisive step towards the League Leaders' Shield, that was. And the first run was an infusion of confidence, really, of what they were capable of. And Ferris is brought down by Matty Smith. Quick play the ball, Brough down the short side. Change of direction from Griggs. All hands to the pump defensively for Wigan. Kyle Wood again. Comes here to Ferris. And Ferris is so close.
Again, Matty Smith. 3 tackles on the trot from Smith.
Here's the last tackle. Brough goes to the air, looking for the big man out wide. Knocked on by Pat Richards. It's the free play. This is the free play. Jason Chan, ball knocked out. It'll come back for the original offence.
It was worth a gamble by Chan. Get through. Most of the crowd didn't realise that was a free play.
In the near 60 minutes we've seen so far, Steve, on this game, with Pat Richards defending for his side, Danny Brough's passing game hasn't been as good as we've seen this season. He's run the ball well and cut open Wigan a couple of times, but what he has in his armoury and what has rescued him, his game and his team, is his kicking game. It's phenomenal. I've seen him get frustrated on the edges a couple of times tonight, where his runners haven't been in the right positions and his passes haven't been great, but boy, he's finishing the sets well with his kicks.
Sean Lunt, David Fayumu, I think, on the other side of the field, waiting to come on back into the action as Brough gets it away to Ferris. This left side attack for Huddersfield again. Wood to Brough, shows it to Kopczak, gives it to Crabtree, who had to reach forward for him.
Great work by Farrell. Ball and all, no chance of the big prop forward offloading. Wood
goes himself. Good work again from Liam Farrell. Brough this time. Brough, short ball. Crabtree, great defence, Wigan. Mossop, Taylor, Tompkins, Farrell, they're all there. Shake of the head from the coach, Paul Anderson. Wood, they camped on the Wigan line. Can they get anything from this? No, they
Take the
can't.
chance. They went for the power play instead of the kick. They really should have gone for percentage. And they tried the big pass, and I'm afraid Cutcho could not take it in.
All too conservative, Steve-O, in that set. They ran the ball too tight, asking Earl Crabtree to plough over some defenders. And then when they decide to get adventurous, it's on the last tackle, and he tries to throw a play that just isn't on.
It's their 10th playoff game, Huddersfield. They won just 2. They lost 46-10 against Hull at the first stage last year. They've lost their last 4 playoff matches, and they've got 20 minutes or so to rescue this. Is it playoff naivety?
Well, the best games are won in the final quarter, and this hopefully will be one of those. You know, you can see the dominance Wigan have had with their goal forward. They've absolutely charged through the Huddersfield defence. They haven't increased the margin, though, but it's been quite clearly the third quarters very much belong to the Wigan Warriors.
Oh, it's a wonderful kick. Turns them around. It might just be a little bit too strong. No, it's bounced up beautifully. Good chase as well.
And Crick says to McGilvery, here, you have a go. Well, don't forget, we're all building up now to grand final night, October the 5th. Get along to the grand final. If you've never been there before, you have missed a treat. There are the phone numbers, there's the website, and you can contact the Rugby Football League first thing in the morning and just see what else will be happening on the big night. We'll all be there. It'll be sensational. Brough with another kick early. Pouched by Richards.
He was put under a great deal amount of pressure there. And he's not happy. And when he starts shaking the head, sometimes it can just go off the boil. It's not working out.
Can't get out of their half, Steve-O. The Wigan defence are swamping them. I'd like to see a bit more from Jermaine McGilvery, a bit more from Aaron Murphy and Scott Griggs. Run from dummy half. Do whatever you can to speed this game up, get a quick play of the ball, and let Crabtree and Kopchak and the other big guys play on the back of that.
McAlorum to Hansen. One tackle missed. Brough gets him though. Remember, losers will go into the knockout stage next week. Winners take a week off and go into within 80 minutes of Old Trafford. Play on is the call from the referee. Well, free play, is it this? Scott Griggs thinks so. He hangs on though, and that's called a 0 tackle.
Yeah, I'll take the advantage. Getting a little bit messy in and around the play the ball area.
No second chances tomorrow for Hull and Catalan. 7:30 here on 1. Saturday afternoon, they do get a second chance. Warrington and Leeds, a repeat of last year's Old Trafford Grand Final.
Well, I think
and Saints and Hull KR, no chances secondly for them. 5 o'clock, those last 2 on Sky Sports, 3 on Saturday.
Well, Paul Anderson has pulled out the best option now. He's brought back onto the field of play Sean Lunt. This man can steer them around because the breaks are very few and far between. You've got to take your opportunity.
And he has a scamper. Looking for a penalty from Scott Taylor. Was he standing square? The referee says play on. Solid defence again from McAlorum. He's been immense. And Brett Ferris gave himself up there.
Yeah.
McAlorum has had a magnificent match.
Yeah, he's worked hard. He always does. Puts his body on the line. Well, this was poor play. There should have been somebody there. They're losing the confidence, I'm afraid, of the Giants. Under a lot of pressure, and Wigan, they're playing the right tactics. They really are. They become more aggressive in the forwards. They're taking it over the advantage line.
17 minutes remaining. And here is Harris and Hansen. Remember, it's just 6 points, a converted try. We've never had golden point in the Super League playoffs before.
That's why I mentioned, Eddie, they don't have to play catch-up football, Wigan. They can just control it, trundle down, use the big forwards, and get the kicking game okay.
In the build-up to the Leeds-Warrington game, Jamie Jones-Buchanan spoke during the week about having players that can strangle a big game when it's in the closing stages, and he referred to Jamie Peacock and Kevin Sinfield, and I don't think many people argue that they can do it. And I think Huddersfield recognise in this Wigan side, and they've mentioned it, they have players who know how to win big games. And it's a special skill you'll only get by playing in big games.
Drop goal attempt, 6 to go. Drop goal attempt from Matty Smith. He knows how important that might have been at the end of the day. This is the 103rd playoff match we've had since day one, 1998, and we've never had a golden point finale yet.
And that was a good option, Eddie, to go for it. Okay, he got the rub of the green, it bounced away. Good work by Ferris to put that pressure, but it gave them 6 more.
And this is a golden opportunity here. It's with Tompkins. He skips away from one. He's so close again.
It looked as though he was going to lunge out.
McAloran once more. This is Matty Smith. And Brett Ferris stands his ground.
Well, surely Wigan will just go for the kick. If they can't get over the line.
Well, will they go for the 1 point again? Matty Smith has dropped back.
Yeah,
very
he's looking
deep
for it. He wants it.
He's in centre field. Matty Smith is very deep, and it'll come back to him. And they're charging down at him. He's got it. He's kicked it as Matty Smith.
Great stuff.
That gives them a little bit of a cushion.
Great position. As he got that ball, he knew that he had to go to the right. If it had just stayed in that position, he would have been blocked. That was smart thinking from the scrum half.
Dream team member, Lance Todd Trophy winner, Matty Smith, 4th drop goal of the year. And they're happy. They are very happy. They know they could be taking a week off. Ken Davey, you might be coming back next week. Bit of time left, quarter of an hour. But Murphy.
But look at the chase. That has been a great feature as well. Well, he can't drag. It's going to be a penalty. Not happy, Sean Wayne. He'll be happy with the scoreline. But you cannot pull the man. You can push him. And you can see here that Gelling does that. Pull. No doubt.
Just getting a little bit niggly now, just getting a little bit scrappy now. Huddersfield know their golden opportunity's gone. Wigan looking forward to the week off. Huddersfield have got a fight on their hands if they want to get to Old Trafford as league leaders. They will get a home tie next week against whoever. But they're in knockout phase now.
Well, they've completely lost the plot. They've stopped talking to each other, they stopped organising things. They're trying the damnedest, but as you say, Eddie, this defence from Wigan, especially in the second half, has been, well, superb.
Huddersfield should take heart from the fact that the position they find themselves in now, where they have to win all the way through to Old Trafford, has been done before by this Wigan club. 2010. They lost the first round. They won everything else. They got to Old Trafford, and they won the grand final against the Saints by 22 points to 10. So it can be done.
Yeah, but the Giants realise that they have not played well tonight, but they've been forced off it. They've had him off the ball. What a good intercept there.
That sums the night up, really.
Well, it sums Danny Brock's game up, Eddie. I'm going to sound like I'm being hypercritical of him, but that's because I think he's such a good player and he's had such a good season. But tonight, he's been close to being awful. His kicking game's been good, but I expect so much more out of a man who's a leading contender for Man of Steel. He's made the dream team. He's scooped up in the Huddersfield Players Awards and Coaches Awards. And he's the leading halfback in the competition, and he hasn't put that performance in tonight.
He did score a sensational try at the start of the game, O'Brien. I want to put that forward for him. And I also think that we put too much focus.
Do you think Danny Brough has controlled the game like you'd expect a half to control the game?
You didn't let me complete what I was going to say there, Brian. I do think that we put too much focus on the playmaker when a game goes like this. I think the runs and tackles by the players in the middle of the field from Wigan have been that much better than the ones by the Giants. That's the difference. And therefore, when it gets to your playmaker, all of the focus tends to go on him when he is really the end of the chain.
He's got to pull the strings. That's why he's paid the big bucks. And that's why he's put with responsibility. He's decided to kick early in the tackle, got that charge down. All right, that sort of thing can go against you. His passing games have been poor. before today. He hasn't put anybody through a hole. He's run himself, you're right, he's run the ball well, but his passing game's been awful. If Danny Brough is this considered even in his top 20 games this season, I'll be amazed.
Well, now the argument's subsided. Jeff Charnley just limping a little bit. He obviously has picked up an injury. That kick was a little bit wasteful as well. It was very early in the tackle count. People will say, of course, 21-18, last minute, doesn't matter.
I don't think it does, and you can read too much into what happens in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game when a match is already won here. I don't think there's too much. I think what Huddersfield need to do is find the appetite of the underdog and the confidence of the favourite, whatever they play here now in the playoffs. Because today here, the hunger for the Wigan Warriors just seems to be far greater than the home side, who had finished at the top of the table but haven't performed when it matters.
Yes, it's a playoff lesson for Huddersfield tonight from Wigan Warriors. Not really anxious either side to pack this scrum. I think they've decided, you know, this will do us, ref.
I'll give you that one, Leroy.
10 seconds, the clock isn't stopped, and this will do. That'll do. The crowd counting down. They'll take this, Wigan, their supporters. Oh, the ball has gone in the scrum. It's come out. Matty Smith has a drop goal, and that will just rub a little bit of salt into the wound. Matty Smith, Blake Green have controlled the game on the back of a dominant Wigan performance, and he is the icing on the cake. Wigan are through. They are now 80 minutes away from Old Trafford. They get this next week off. They'll come back refreshed, and they'll play someone else for the right to get to Old Trafford in a couple of weeks' time. Huddersfield, meanwhile, have to fight on, and they'll be back next week. Down to John Wells.